Gracious God, creator of the universe, and yet the lover of my soul. Alpha and Omega, and yet I can call you friend. I don't have to beg you for anything, but I can thank you for everything. God, I thank you because this is the day that you have made, and I can rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for this day of magnificence and glory and splendor. God, I thank you for life, health, and for strength. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for peace, love, and joy. I thank you for the essence of you that envelops me right now, from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet. We thank you for this day of manifestation. We thank you for the day of revelation. We thank you for the day of impartation. We thank you as you move in the midst of your people to bring us to the greatest times that we've ever seen since the foundation of the world. Thank you, Lord, that for this time and for this season, you've allowed us to be a part of your move in the face of the earth. I thank you, God, for the revolution that you're bringing forth, God, even in the midst of the earth right now. And I thank you for the opportunity to be a part of what you're doing in this hour, because in the last days, saith God, you said you would pour out your spirit on all flesh. And so now we thank you for the pouring out. God, I thank you for the rain and the move of your spirit. I thank you for fresh oil. I thank you for new wine. I thank you for the new thing that you're doing. I thank you now that it does spring forth. I thank you, Lord, that you've called us to be the head and not the tail. You've called us to be above only and not beneath. You've called us to be the lender and not the borrower. You've called, God, that our storehouses would be full and increase. God, I thank you because even I decree and declare that the people under the sound of my voice, even now, are moving in the might of your strength. Not by might nor by power, but by your spirit. I thank you for those that are the sons and daughters of God that are called because they walk not after the flesh, but after your spirit. I thank you for the rising up of the people of your kingdom. I thank you that your kingdom come. I thank you that your will be done, even now in earth as it is in heaven. I thank you, Lord, because you are moving in the midst of your people mightily as never before. Raise us up, oh God, to the standard of what you've called us to be. God, I thank you for the standard of greatness. I thank you for the standard of holiness. I thank you for the standard of moving as the sons and daughters of yours, and not as vagabonds, not as those that never knew you, not as those that are confused and confounded, but God, those that know who they are in you. I thank you for the knowing. I thank you, God, for knowing you. I thank you for knowing your presence. Thank you for knowing your Holy Ghost power that gives us the ability to be successful. Your anointing that gives us the power to rise up and be called blessed. Thank you for that is in us. Thank you, God, for all things that pertain to life and godliness. Thank you because we are not confused. We are not deceived. And we thank you for that clarity of mind and the clarity of vision that allows us to walk forth as kings and queens, as princes and princesses in the kingdom that walk in the earth. We thank you that we are your beloved, and we rise up as the apple of your eye. We rise up, oh God, as those that you love with all of your heart, and God, we love you back. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for soundness of spirit. I thank you that healing is our bread, healing is our deliverance. By the stripes of Jesus, we're already healed, and we speak forth that healing even now for those that need it. Thank you, God, for every stripe that was taken. Thank you for the bruising. Thank you that he was wounded for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. God, with those same stripes we declare and we speak healing in Jesus' name. We give you glory, we give you peace, we give you honor, we give you blessing, we give you might. We ascribe all of these things unto you because they are yours. Thank you, the fruit of my lips giving thanks unto your name, ever giving you all that is yours. Glory, honor, power, dominion, majesty, it's yours. I decree it and I speak it In the mighty name of Jesus, it is so. Amen and amen.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to welcome you to today's edition of Yes You O Cubed. One-on-one, it's just me and you. I want to thank you for coming in today, and I am your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and I'm so glad you're here. Yes, I am. I'm so glad you are here. Now, I just want to say today is, I had to sit here for a minute and think because this month is going so quickly. I just can't believe it. But listen, July, you might as well say, is gone. But I just want to say thank you for coming on today's date. This is Thursday, y'all. Can you believe that it's Thursday, July the 15th in the year 2021? And so as we come in today, like my friend Teresa Jones like to say, my sister, as she likes to say when she comes in, this is the day that the Lord has made, and we are rejoicing and we are glad in it. Now, you know how we do. I love to come in and I really have to say and acknowledge that you all been coming in here so quickly in the morning time. I almost have to get on my P's and Q's to try to catch who all has come in the room, because y'all not playing. So at the end of the day, I said Grandpa Holmes's chair is the hot spot, and I'm gonna figure out something even with that to do something special for Grandpa Holmes's chair. But right now, I just want to acknowledge that Monica L. Smith, you are the winner of Grandpa Holmes's chair, and I want to appreciate you. Now, come on now. Okay, my studio wanted. I want to say congratulations. Congratulations, Monica. You are the winner of Grandpa Holmes's chair. Now, I got to tell you, that spot is hot because it is hot. It is hot. Yes, come on, Mel. Come on, everybody. Give it up for it, because I mean to tell you. But let me let you in on this. It was close. I had some folks coming in here so fast, and I was just like, Lord Jesus, I got to keep my eye on the screen to see who got in Grandpa Holmes's chair, because, baby, when I tell you it was close, it was close. But, Monica, you did that thing. You got your lips, hips, and fingertips in the chair, and I want to appreciate you for showing your enthusiasm to get in the studio on this fine day. Now, with that, I want to say, get your coffee cups out. Get your coffee cups out. Come on, get your coffee cups out, because this is what we're going to do. You know how we do it. No cream, no sugar. We take this coffee strong and black, because we tells it like a T-I-Z, tis, except for Teresa Jones. She has a cup of tea. So come on, get your coffee cups out and get your tea. Do you take that tea with cream? Do you take that tea with a little bit of something in it, or are you drinking that just straight tea? However you take it, Teresa, I'm glad you're here. And I want to say good morning, Teresa Jones. Thank you for coming in the Lion's Den. Good morning, SK8843. Now, I want to tell you, Monica, Sheila Miles was on your heels. She was coming like fast and furious. She wasn't playing. She was like, y'all better get out the way, because here I come. But you'd already made it in the chair. So on this fine day, SK8843, Sheila Miles, I want to appreciate you for coming on in the room. Not far behind, I'm telling you, y'all was making that thing happen. Not far behind. Let me see who came on in the room. I saw Stacy 546. You were one of the last ones in, but nonetheless, I'm gonna give you a shout out, because listen, you my sis, and I know you have all kinds of things that you do before you get here. So I know you're making your way into the room. Good morning, Mino 3782. How did I miss you, sis? I'm so sorry I did not see you, but listen, it looks like you were the one that was hot hot on the tail of Monica L. Smith. So thank you and good morning. I know you just came in from work and you're winding down with us this morning. Thank you for coming on in the room. Now, I want to say good morning. Who else is out here? The Rebel Ink is always out there, and I appreciate you. Rashida Renee, I appreciate you, and good morning, good morning, good morning. Come on in the room. I see Mel Holiday is already cutting up this morning. Mel is already cutting up. I had to question her on a few things, but I said, please don't answer that on the grounds that it might incriminate you. I want to say, Dalen, come on. I'm so happy that you're here, Dalen 628. Thank you, too, for coming into the Lion's Den, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Everybody, I hope I didn't miss. Oh, Kim Possible. Kim Possible snuck in on me while I was working here in the studio. Good morning to you, Kim Possible. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, Mino, you're off today. Good. Now, see, that's a beautiful thing when you take your time and your day off to come on in the room and in the Lion's Den to chit chat with us here. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You were driving, trying to get in the chair. Mino, you were driving, trying to get in the chair. I am not mad at you. Monica said, it's mine this morning. It's mine. Thank you for hosting the stream, Kim Possible. I appreciate you. And to everybody that would host the stream, like the stream, subscribe to the stream, share the stream, I appreciate you because you're helping us get this word out here. And in the algorithm world, we're moving on up a little higher. And you'll see something a little different at the end of the show. Stay with us. And those of you, I appreciate your support. For those that have given and contributed biddies, to all of you that come in and make contributions and subscriptions, thank you, Stacy546. Thank you for hosting the stream. For all of you that do those various and sundry things, you're going to see something a little different today because I wanted to make sure that every podcast, I let you know how much I appreciate you. So stay till the end of the show and you'll see something a little special. You need an 800 for the chair. 800. Listen, Mino is my 800 number person. She goes, especially in the Rebels channel. And honey, she got 1-800 for everything. And so, yeah, we need an 800 number for the chair. Because listen, they trying to get in here. These folks are not playing. They are trying to get in that chair. So I appreciate you all. I enjoy the conversation. I enjoy the laughter. I enjoy all of the fun because, listen, that's what makes the world go round. We only got one life here in this earth to live. Y'all enjoy it to the fullest and make sure you listen. I'm on my way to heaven. I'm enjoying the trip. How about you? Now, we're going to get ready to get this party crack-a-lacking. Let me get my music going here. Let me get it booted up. Boot up. I got to get it booted up. We're going to get this going. Now, it want to ask me for security to make sure it's me so I can play my music, y'all. Now, what kind of mess is that? Is it you? Yes, it's me. Well, prove it's you. We need a password. All right, here we go. Now that I've proven myself, let's get a little music crack-a-lacking up in here. Here we go. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be the side piece. The side piece, Rebel. Now let me make this quick announcement. You know, I had where I got all the promos at the very beginning, and some of you have commented and said you really like it that way. And while the gathering is going on, y'all can talk and share and all of that. So I'm glad. I do want to make this quick announcement. The Rebel, could it be? Could it be, Monica? Y'all got me cracking up. But listen, hey, Teresa Jones, thank you for liking the stream, sis. I do want to make a quick announcement that the Rebel Ink is going to be part of a raid train. She's going to be part of 800-888 move. That's what she said to you, Monica. 1-800-888 move. Oh, y'all too much. Y'all too much. Mino, that's great. Kim Possible said yes, Mino, yes. Dial that number right now. If you want to get Monica L. Smith, get her lips, hips, and fingertips out of Grandpa Holmes's chair so you can take possession thereof. Just dial that number, 1-800-888-MOVE. It'll get you there. Y'all got me dying in here this morning. That's a great one. That's a great one. Now, Rebel Inc., 10 o'clock. Raid Train. Check in. Listen to her. Support her. Do everything you can. She was instrumental. She was you need more than a number for me. Monica is going to defend her territory. She just wants y'all to know you need more than a number to get her out of that chair. Now, this is what's going on with Rebel. And this is the kind of person that she is. One of the other streamers needed so many individuals to subscribe or sign up with them, follow them. And so they came into Rebel's chat, and Rebel was very instrumental in helping that streamer get their accomplished what they needed to accomplish their goal. And so he's giving an appreciation. She's celebrating him. Y'all going over there. She's got some good music. Oh, Ida, thank you so much for following the stream. I appreciate you. Thank you. And so Rebel went over there and opened it up and asked people to go out there to get them to their goal. That's the kind of person that the Rebel Inc. is. And so she's going to be celebrating him reaching his streamer goal. And for those that don't know what's going on, all of those streamer goals are very significant to what goes on with your channel and so many other things on the backside. So Rebel, thank you. Listen, that's a lion's move, because that's who you are. Now, Royal Confessions done snuck in here. Royal Confessions got confessions. That made me spit out my moonshine. She came out of lurking to come in and say that me... Y'all too much for me. Y'all are too much for me. You drinking this early in the morning, Royal Confessions? Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. Now let's get this party crack-a-lacking, because I gotta do right. Wow, it's slumbered, slept and slobbered. Let's get it crack-a-lacking. Now I want to open up with this piece right here. I don't know if you realize it or not. I am really excited to report on this one. Because we've been talking about Lion's moves and all of the things going on right now in the world, and it's happening. Be just rest assured, it is happening. Don't be deceived. So this one right here, I want to get you to a point where you can see what's going on. Oh, listen, listen, she came in talking about moonshine, and then I'm trying to pull up my article, and what comes up on here but some orange liqueur. I'm like, is there a spirit of spirits loose in my podcast this morning that Royal Confession done brought up in the house? Because listen, I'm sitting here and I'm like, where in the world? And I'm gonna let you see it, because I'm gonna tell you, this is Rebel's doing. This is Rebel. You feel it in your spirit? There is a spirit of spirits in the room. I'm trying to pull up this article so you all can see what I want to talk about while you slumbered, slept, and slobbered. And now that Royal Confessions done come in here at 7 o'clock in the morning with her moonshine that she almost spit out, and this is what I get. I'm trying to talk about Byron Allen. And I did have to pause it, because listen, that video they were rolling that beautiful beam footage. I said, it's happening. It's happening, SKING. It's happening. I said, what in the world is going on here? Now, don't y'all pay any attention to that liqueur. That's not what I'm trying to talk about, y'all. I'm trying to tell you that Byron Allen now owns 24 stations in 20 different markets. Yes, my brother Byron has 24 stations. Girl, there's no buffering today. saying? Y'all need a whole cup. Oh my God, y'all need Jesus. Y'all need Jesus. Byron Allen, and he has been silently going out buying up television stations, y'all. So he most recently has bought the WJRT in Flint, Michigan for $70 million in an all cash deal, y'all. I love it. I love it. Because one of the places that we have such a great struggle is in the media. And why do we always get portrayed in negative light? Because we don't control the media that's telling the narrative. Whoever's telling the narrative, that's who gets to put the slant on it. And unfortunately, the slant has often been against black and brown bodies. So at this point, I am just so glad Allen and Gray Television has come to an agreement. And this is my thing, 70 million all cash, y'all. All cash. That's what I was getting ready to say, Kim Possible. All cash. Come on, Byron. Come on. I love it. 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 Now, I didn't realize that's a great investment. And if you realize it or not, like a lot of the comedy shows, the black comedy shows, a lot of the improv, a lot of those things, that is actually Byron Allen that is owning that. And so I'm looking at, they're delighted to win the process to this wonderful transition taking place. So I was trying to look at all the different ones that he had. They had it listed at one point. But nonetheless, I'm telling y'all, this is a lion's move, and I want us to understand as we begin to make this transition into, as somebody already said, SK, I believe it was, it's happening. It is happening. As it is happening, I want us to come to a point, yes, while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, this lion has roared. This lion has roared, and I'm loving it. And this is the type of lion's moves that we need to make, y'all. We need to actually be able to come on in the room and let's not talk about the way that we're portrayed in the media and buy it, own it, create it, cash. SK, did you hear? He's doing the Lord's work. Come on, Kim Possible. He is truly doing the Lord's work. So I love the idea. And y'all, he's been doing this for a minute, but to be now at the level where he owns 24 stations across the nation in 20 different markets, that's a big roar, Stacey. That is a big roar. We talked about how some felt that when Cosby decided that he was going to own a station, that's when things really popped up and cropped up against him. That was some of the dialogue that was going on during that time window, and I've even heard it since he's been released. He pre-roared. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, Monica? He pre-roared. Listen, because at the end of the day, if you ain't realized it, this brother is a lion. And he said, you gonna hear me roar. You gonna hear me roar all across. He's got ABC stations. He's got NBC stations. And come on here, y'all, because he actually has some Fox stations too. I need him to buy up all the Fox stations so we can stop the madness. Just buy them all, Byron. Buy them all. Get all the Fox stations so we can get that insanity off the channel. So this brother ain't playing. He's coming through like gangbusters. I wanted to open today's podcast with that story because while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, baby, that made my day. I looked at that this morning and I said, looky here, that's what we need more of that. And so as we come together, Jasimas, villages gathering, as we create more Jasimas on the planet, we're going to see more and more and more of that kind of thing going on where we are going to understand the importance of ownership, not just talking about how to the owner, how you're operating and how you're treating me. No, stop that. Stop that. Let's get our stuff together and own our own stuff. God bless the child that's got his own. And I just wanted to start with that this morning because it just made me feel so good. He'll fix Fox, Stacy. Now, let me tell you, because Byron has had a lawsuit that he did not win. But honey, he fought it till the nth degree. He said, I'll spend all the money I need to spend on it and take it as far as I can take it, because he began to challenge media and the racism that was in the media, and even how his the ownership that he had of the stations that he had, how it was so problematic just to get an inch forward every time he turned around. No, every time he wanted to do something. No, so he went to court and he fought for many years. Many of you may be familiar with that situation where Byron Allen was in court for years, and you can look it up. I mean, years and years and years. And so he said, okay, I lost that case. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go buy more stations. I'm gonna just keep buying them up. I'm gonna keep buying them up. So at the end of the day, you're not gonna stop me because I'm gonna own it. So I love that about this brother. I want us to do more of that. Why do we need to do more of that? This next story that my sis 411 Connect put out here for me to catch a hold of this morning. Now, double standards much, because at the end of the day, this is gonna be a double standard. This young 19-year-old woman is being charged with the hate crime for defacing the blue sign in front of a police officer. And listen, prison time. Now you prison time. You know I got the shade. Yeah. Could it be the devil? Baby, this ain't nothing but that old slimy devil. Now, this is what I want you all to be very keenly aware of, and I'm sure you probably already are. We have insurrectionists who stormed the Capitol on January the 6th. Shaking my head. Come on, rebel. I'm shaking my head, my finger, and everything else. Because listen, while Capitol rioters are pleading out for probation, SK 8843. Now, let me tell you the story because it gets ridiculously worse. It's worse, y'all. It's worse, y'all. So at the end of the day, her friend and she were traveling, and the friend got pulled over, and it sounded like some kind of sundowner town to me. They got pulled over, and so she made a complaint about how they were handling her. Mel. Mel said she dated a guy that looked like the devil. Mel, what's wrong with your eyes? What's wrong with your eyes? Oh my God. Mel, you need Jesus. Anyway, I'm gonna take him down. Because you obviously getting hot and bothered. You are obviously seeing the devil up there is obviously getting you hot and bothered, since it's bringing back memories. But if you dated a guy that looked like that, Mel, I want you, everybody stretch your hands in the direction of wherever Mel is. Get your blessed oil. And I need you to reach out right now and pray. I need y'all to pray, because something was wrong with your eyes if you dated a guy that looked like the devil. Now, let me get back to my story, because you threw me off, Mel. You threw me off. Now, let me get back to the story and how egregious it is. So the friend is driving, and so she's being mishandled and manhandled by these officers. And again, what I'm gonna say sounds like it could have been a sundown town. And so the other friend, in retaliation, gets out says a few heated words, and then she had a Back the Blue sign that she had acquired earlier in the day. So she gets the sign, Back the Blue, stomps on it, says her little heated words, and listen, now the girl's 19, and so I want to get up for she's trying to stand up for her friend. Should she have stayed in the car? Should she have, whatever, whatever the situation was going on, all I'm gonna say is, if I see my friend that I'm riding with, or I see my family member that I'm riding with being manhandled by the police, I'm getting out the car too. Now, after you look at the whole situation of it though, the sheriff's deputy said that he perceived that this action of her stomping on the Back the Blue sign and throwing it in the trash was intimidating. Stacy, she stomped on it. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? She stomped on it, and he said that this was an attempt, and this is what she's being, an attempt to intimidate law enforcement.
Ain't nothing but the devil. I can't hear you. Ain't nothing but the devil.
Seriously, Stacy, seriously. Now, at the end of the day, let's go back to the insurrectionists with a noose hanging outside, asking for Vice President Pence, with lives lost, with people beaten, with, you understand, police officers beaten, police officers dead, people trampling, stampeding, all of this going on, but this girl is facing prison time. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Look, come on, one more time.
Ain't nothing but the devil. I can't hear you. Ain't nothing but the devil.
Baby, could it be? Come on now. Could it be? Y'all ain't buying the words. Y'all not buying what I'm selling and the words that are coming out of my mouth. The devil. Kim Possible, a sign versus a gun, and he feels intimidated. It's not the devil, it's just a we got the forks back out. We got the forks back out again today, Stacy. The forks are back out. We got the spoon, the knife. We got the whole ensemble. We got the whole cutlery set. Because this is when we talk about how there is injustice as to what we see happen to white folks that literally were riotous. Folks are dead and beating people with flagpoles, beating folk with all kind of things. Got a noose hanging outside of the Capitol so that they can get, and they want send Pence out. That sounds like you saying it. Come on, Mina. And the sheriff's deputy is just angry that he couldn't pull a Sandra Bland on them. Come on here, SK 8843. Because at the end of the day, I'm looking at this scenario and I'm like, let them girls, these 19 years old, let those kids get back in the car and go about their business and whatever they're doing. But no, we got to escalate something as minor as you talked to me roughly. I don't know what she said, and stomped on a Back the Blue sign and then threw it in the trash. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So, I got to unshade here because I don't just throw shade, I shed light. White privilege supremacy was built to protect them. Absolutely, Kim Possible. Because you cannot tell me that a man armed with a gun felt so intimidated that these people are facing prison time. And that's a real story. I tell you, I looked at that, and at the end of the day, Breonna Taylor is dead from Popo that broke into her house while she was asleep and shot her up who knows how many times. And her killers are still walking the street. But the Popo want to say they felt intimidated. It is a situation that we're going to continue to have to address until we can get some justice up in the house, because that's going on right now. And I hope that the ACLU and anybody else that can go and support this sister against this egregious miscarriage of justice, I hope that they just swarm down on them and make the difference so that we can see some changes begin to happen. Because again, the two systems and the obvious difference in the two systems, we got to deal with that. Get thick-skinned or find another profession. I hear you, Mel. Because if you're going to be offended by some words and the fact that somebody stomped on a sign and threw it in the trash, give me a break. Give me a break. When I read that story, I couldn't believe it. Now, it's almost as unbelievable as the next one. While we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, somebody got the wrong kidney in a kidney transplant. Did you hear the words that came out of my mouth? Somebody at a hospital at the University Cleveland Medical Center got the wrong kidney. Now, I'm gonna tell you what, and the reason why I have to shade on this, we're like, they're doing the Mino, that part. Yes, SK. Yes. Now, I don't personally feel any way surprised, because let me tell you what, when my mother was in the hospital in ICU, I had an infectious disease doctor come in the room and insist that my mother had COVID. I said to the woman, no, she doesn't have COVID. Now, this is ICU. We're not on the regular tower floor. This is ICU. Yes, she does. My mother, who is in a weakened state, sat up, opened her eyes and said, no, I don't have COVID. Yes, you do. We talked to I said, ma'am, yes, she does. Where they got extra kidneys? Just sitting around. Because somebody that was supposed to get a kidney now does not have one. Come on, Kim Possible. They just got extra kidneys sitting around. Somebody that was supposed to have a kidney. You said fix it, Jesus. Listen, Mel. Now that's the one thing we can do. That's the one thing we can do is pray. Because at the end of the day, I'm telling you exactly how this kind of stuff happens, because they get this complex where they will not listen to you, like you don't know what you're talking about. Because listen, I told her, my mom told her, this doctor, the infectious disease, and I wanted to look at her like, you obviously don't even know the patients that you've seen, obviously, because you have not seen my mother as a patient. This is the first time we've seen you, ma'am, and we were in ICU. And so the woman argues with me that my mother has COVID. And so finally I said, check it. She goes over. She pulls up the information, taps into the little computer, because she's going to show me how wrong I am. Well, it was such and such a date when she came in. My mother was not here. Yes, she was. Come on. Little Karen in her white doctor's jacket heard nothing that I said. And so at the end of the day, I said to her, I can imagine if she was there by herself, which is one of the reasons, Monica, why I posted up. So who's in charge of the kidneys and what are we drinking? Come on, Stacy. At the end of the day, this is where I looked at her and I said, now all of this woman is still arguing with me. She's still arguing with me. I said to her, are you talking about Anna Stillman? And she defiantly looks up at the top of the thing where the name of the patient is. And she says, you know, with this COVID, we're all so overworked. Not an apology, not a I'm wrong, Listen, none of that. I didn't get any of that, Mel. I didn't get any of that. And listen, had I not been there, my mother would have been treated for COVID that she didn't have, that this woman insisted that she was being treated for. So believe you me, when I hear that, and I got so many stories to tell. I just won't. No excuses. There are no excuses. I know, Kim Possible, could you at least give me an apology? No, ma'am. I did not get an apology. I did not. We did not. My mother nor I got an apology. She sashayed her little blonde self out of there without one apology after arguing with us in ICU that she had listen, at the end of the day, send them there. Royal Confessions, you on one today too. Cause listen, I'm kidneys everywhere. You get a kidney, you get a kidney, you get a kidney, you get a kidney, you get a kidney. Even if it's designated for some other patient, you get a kidney, you get a kidney. Everybody but the person that's supposed to get a kidney gets a kidney. I can believe it. So now the hospital is trying to do it. Now I know a personal friend, acquaintance, choir member who had a scenario with her leg. So and they're supposed to come in and put the little mark on, is this the leg? Ask you all the questions, take the marker, put the little mark on whichever limb, whatever they getting ready to work on to make sure they get the right thing. Mel, it's really sad. And this is what we have to deal with, because I'm going to say this. I am at the point now where I say even the hospitals need to be reorganized, because these people that they are putting out, some of them are not qualified. And at the end of the day, forget bedside manner. Do you know what you're talking about? So I tell you what, you almost had wrong leg amputated, BTD mom. That's exactly what happened. The wrong leg was amputated, and that's not a lie. So, it's like, is it a wrong leg amputated? Is a kidney going into the wrong person? I just, the medical, this situation that we're currently in, it needs to be watched and monitored. I'm telling you all, when you send your loved ones to the hospital, do not leave them in their care as if they are those gods that have all the answer. Baby, there's some folk coming in the room that are clueless. Do you understand the words that, and listen, I got to unshade right here, because I don't just throw shade, I shed light. When your loved one goes to the hospital, you accompany them. Because, baby, I'm going to tell you, it's some impossible stuff, Kim Possible, that goes on in these hospitals. So, we need more training for the nurses. We need the CNAs, the doctors, the techs. Baby, honey, stay there with them, Johnny CPW. Good morning and welcome to the Lion's Den. But stay there. Like the old saints used to say about tarrying at the altar, stay there, baby, stay there until you know that you got it. Stay there, baby. Don't leave your child. Don't leave your loved ones. Don't leave whosoever it is. Park your lips, hips, and fingertips in a chair and sit right there. Listen, Teresa, St. Luke's ain't liking seeing a whole lot of people. Allegedly. I got to put allegedly on that one. Don't want no lawsuits, but allegedly. St. Luke's don't want to see a whole lot of people. A lot of these hospitals. And I'm going to tell you what, you got to be proactive in your care, because at the end of the day, I can go from hospital to hospital in this city and just give you stories, just egregious stories of things that have happened to people that I know. And you just have to at the end of the day, stay on top of them. They give you information. Listen, Google is out there. Google that stuff. Don't just listen. And even with the medication, I'm trying to understand how it is, instead of you getting to the root of what's going on in my body, you want to give me another pill. And so I'm like, no. And I know you're in bed with the pharmaceutical company, but listen, I'm not about to be your guinea pig And I'm not about to be your cash cow that every time you turn around, just take another pill. So don't mess with my scoop. I got you, Teresa. I got you. And listen, when it's your loved ones that you're dealing with and you're, no ma'am, no sir. And as I asked one doctor, and this was even a situation because with my mother, I had one scenario where one doctor was insisting that she have this procedure. The other doctor was insisting that she didn't. And so I finally asked the surgeon, I said, now look, how are we supposed to make a decision when the doctors can't even agree on what the course of action should be? I looked at him and I said, would you do this to her if she were your family member? And that man dropped his head and said, no. And I said, well, if you wouldn't do it to your family member, you're surely not going to do it to mine. Come on here. Come on. And then I let them fight back and forth amongst themselves. And literally, the doctors were in a dispute, one with the other. I said, how are you expecting me to make decisions for treatment when y'all can't even agree amongst yourselves, doctor to doctor? Child, you better stay there. You better stay there, babies. So at the end of the day, this hospital, now they coming up, they need an extra class in listening to the patient. And you said a mouthful there, but I will say this, Stacy 546. A lot of times Black people are not listened to when we try to say and explain or talk about what's going on. So at the end of the day, and I'm just talking real talk. If folk act like you don't know what you're talking about, folk act like you ain't got good sense. Folk act like, and how many times did I have medical personnel talking to me like I was retarded? Okay, I got you. And well, did you understand? I understood you the first time. Matter of fact, I understood you before you said it, but since you assumed that I was ignorant, I went ahead and let you explain what you wanted to explain, even though it's a simple enough concept. I don't need to be a doctor or a nurse to understand. I already know what you're talking about, but I'm gonna let you, just for the sake of me not appearing to come off as a know-it-all, I'm gonna let you say what you said and go on with your business. But when you come back the second time and act like I'm stupid, they assume, Jonna, that we're ignorant. And I'm telling you, and at the end of the day, what you all are getting paid thousands of dollars. I said that from the beginning, but you done went all the way around the mulberry bush and come back around to it with 5,000 different diagnoses and 5,000 different medications when you could have started right here. Y'all ain't buying what I'm selling. The system needs to be revamped. But again, Stacy, your reality of bedside manner and listening to the patient, it's a real challenge for people of color because we got folks out there. You all remember I showed that video of the teacher that was in the classroom at the college university, and she said she just automatically feels that white people are smarter than Black people. That's real. I got a shade right there. You've had professionals ask me, where did you learn that term? A book. Just like you, dum-dum. A book. So at the end of the day, it's one of those scenarios where, you just gotta bite your tongue almost sometimes, Stacy. We have to bite our tongues because we're telling them, this is what I feel in my body. This is what's going on. This is what's happening with me. And at the end of the day, they don't want to listen to the words that are coming out of our mouth. Like we don't know what we're talking about. That's another Karen, and I'm fighting. Come on, Mino. So, these are, when we talk about systemic racism, we talk about, and you're like, how did you get there from that story? Because I'm telling you, people of color almost have to go to blows with these folk to get them to listen to what we're saying. Because they do not listen to brown and Black bodies because there's an assumption and an undercurrent that we're ignorant about what you're talking about. So, I'm not surprised. I'm sure heads are going to roll. I'm not surprised. And the truth be told, I want to thank Teresa Jones for sending this to me this morning. But at the end of the day, the truth be told, actually yesterday, I would not be shocked. This is not an isolated incident in my opinion. It's just one that got caught up in the media so that it's being talked about. So at the end of the day, and I'm not talking against medical procedures and medical treatment, none of that. All I'm saying is that don't assume when you put your life in the people's hands that they are going to be working in your best interest, that they're listening to you, that they're or that they know what they're talking about. Because sometimes it's just something as simple as, did you read the chart? I actually had some situations in the situation with my mother. People were coming in the room talking. They hadn't even read the chart. Where do you do that at? Where do you do that at? You haven't even read the chart. Oh, Jesus. So now there's all kind of things going on. The hospital said they are carefully reviewing this situation, and they're trying to figure out how this thing happened. Now, this is the fallout that I look at. The person that was supposed to get that kidney, because you got to match your kidney. You can't just say, give me a kidney, shoot it here, throw it over here, and I got it. Plop it in. You got to do matches to make sure that the body's not going to reject it. You go through a whole long process, several things that have to happen. And at the end of the day, that person that really needed that transplant, that was supposed to get it. Now, what happens for them? What happens for them? How do you fix that? How do you fix that? I tell you what, and somebody's life was dependent on it. So, that story, I read that this morning and I said, now y'all see why I started with Byron Allen. Now you see why I started with Byron Allen. Don't have your read. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, you don't have to read a chart to see a tube down your throat. I got you, BTD mom. And BTD mom, and you may have seen my post a few days ago. We're celebrating how 3 times she was literally at death's door on her way out of here. 3 different times in one long drawn out incident. And BTD mom had tubes down her throat in one of these processes, and the nurse was trying to give her pills orally by her mouth, through the mouth, when she got tubes down her throat. Now this really happened. This I'm unshady, because listen, it's shady, but I'm telling you what God loves, and that's the truth. BTD mom had tubes down her throat, and the nurse was trying to cram pills down her throat with the tube. Where they do that at? I got to go there. Could it be? The devil. Baby, that ain't nothing but that old slimy devil. And when I tell you, I posted up, and listen, my SK 8843, that's my other sister, she was in Wichita, and when I called her, I think she was driving over 100 miles an hour from Wichita to Kansas City. Cause baby, when I told her what was going on and I had posted up, oh, she needs to be fired, Kim Possible. She needs to be fired. I posted up, SK 8843 posted up, what the fork is right, Stacy. We posted up, and baby, they finally moved her to a room where before they could come in the room, they had blinds on the thing where and we'd see them like we're stupid. They would be peeking in the blinds to see if anybody was in there, and there we were. And as I was off, I had gone to do something, and SK 8843 was perched up. The one time she stepped down to get something to eat in the cafeteria, they swarmed on the room, and here they come. Because they knew full well, as long as we posted up, you're going to straighten up and fly right. You're not going to get away, not with one iota of stupidity up in this room. It got so bad, each of the doctors started signing off and trying to blame each other because nobody wanted to take the liability because they knew they were wrong. Y'all ain't buying what I'm selling. But yes, you see a tube down a person's throat and you gonna try to give them pills. I'm telling you. I'm telling you what we've experienced. And let me take my shades off. So God bless whoever it was that was supposed to get the kidney that didn't get it. And listen, y'all stay with your peeps. That's all I can really say. I got to keep saying it. Stay with your people. Don't just turn them over into the hands of those that say that they're providing care, because you got to watch that stuff. You got to pay attention. So there you go. I'm imploring you, pay close attention to your loved ones when they go to the hospital. Now, and I could say more, but I just won't. I could praise God for his mercy. Come on, BTG mom. Praise God for his mercy and family. There's so much more that I could say, but I just won't, because that's a whole nother horse of a different color. And some of that is going to be some fresh wounds, because some stuff it still ain't over yet. It ain't over. It's not over yet. So, my goodness, Lord, good Lord today. Now, the man, y'all remember that did all of that bad talking and bad mouthing of the black man, and somebody recorded it, and unbeknownst to him, he had you can tell people where I live, my address is XYZ, and everybody showed up at his house and the police came and arrested him. Now he's in the news. Wow, it's slumbered, slept, and slobbered, because the judge is saying he's a high risk to the neighborhood. But this is the other piece to this as well. He's now got, they said he had shrooms, y'all. He had shrooms. He had mushrooms. He had mushrooms and other things that they got him for. And this is the thing. All of this going on with this man. You have some people in political office that said this man was threatening them. Good morning, Barbara Hardy. That's my sis. Welcome to the Lion's Den. It's so good to see you. We had all of this going on with this man. Now, this is why I have an issue. The judge is saying that the man who did all of this, he poses a high risk of danger to the community. So that's what they're coming out now and saying, and only because the rant went viral. Let me emphasize that. Only because the rant went viral did it get all the attention that it got. When all those people showed up at that house, when that street was jam-packed full, oh, you bad enough to give your address out? You bad enough to tell people roll up on you? You bad enough to tell people I wish you would? Here we are. And they showed up. And he came out of the house in handcuffs, and I don't know how much of that wasn't for theater and play and display, because this is my issue with this whole scenario. Now the judge is saying, Judge Terrence Cook, he's ruling that he's a danger to his neighborhood. These people had been calling on this man the whole time, and the police would show up, do nothing, and go on about their business. And when they showed up, they act like they were chummy with the man and going about their business. Now you got all of this that has come to light from the video. We've got elected officials that said this man has actually threatened them. Before all of this came up, this man has been off his rocker the whole time, and the popo have been supporting him in his bad deeds. That's what I want to address. Why is nobody talking about that? Now you want to come up and say this man with his racist rant, he's now considered a high risk of danger to the community. This man's been a high risk the whole time, but explain to me why the police, lazy popo, how about they all meet at the same lodge? Can we go there? How about they all wear the same uniform? At the end of the day, You explain to me why it took all of this, even up to elected officials who say this man has threatened them. Why did it take a video going viral for the man to get arrested? Because otherwise, he'd have still been out there roaming the streets as he had done the whole time. And neighbor after neighbor after neighbor came forward and said they had called the police and complained on this man, and the popo never did a thing. Explain it. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. But then we got a sister over here that stops on a sign from a traffic stop that turns physical. So her retaliation is, I'm gonna stomp on a back to blue sign. And obviously, I'm gonna say it like this: if she picked the sign up earlier that day, and that's what she said in the article, she had picked up that sign someplace earlier that day, I'm gonna assume she was probably picking it up because she believed, let's back the police, back the blue. But now that I've been mishandled and mistreated, or my friend's been mishandled and mistreated, this is what I feel about this sign. Take it out, stomp on it, and throw it in the trash. It ain't going home with me. So at the end of the day, now she's talking about prison time and facing prison time while the insurrectionists walk free. She's facing prison time for stomping on a sign. And the police officer felt it was intimidation. And this man has been out here wreaking havoc on this community the whole time. And now the judge says he feels like he's a danger to the he's a high risk of danger to the community. Give me a break. And so at the end of the day, I'm like, But what about the police though? What about all these calls to the police and nothing happened to this man? Can you explain that to me? Can somebody I just need somebody to explain that to me. All these calls to the popo fell on deaf ears. And even after the judge determines this man is a risk of danger to the community, where is the accountability to these officers that repeatedly did nothing on all of these calls and reports that came out against this man? Could it be? The devil? Baby, that ain't nothing but Mel's boyfriend. That ain't nothing but Mel's boyfriend. Mel's boyfriend is loose. Yes, that's Mel's man. That's Mel's man. Since she done confessed and said that he looked like somebody she dated, that's Mel's man. He's loose. He's loose. Oh Mel, I'm done. I'm just done. If you dated somebody look like that, I just can't. I'm weak. Woo, that's what it is, y'all. That's what it is. And so there you have it. But they are at this point contemplating what kind of sentencing he's going to get, and that has not been determined as of yet. For all of this that this man has done, and you're going to put 19-year-old sister in prison, if that man's lips, hips, and fingertips don't hit somebody's prison, I'm going to be mad. So, okay, here we go. Insider. This is the kind of news that we want to hear because it's happening, y'all. It's happening. So we talked on this story a few weeks ago, I believe it was, and I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to share this with you real quickly on the screen. A former police officer has been sentenced to 4 years in prison for beating that undercover black officer who he believed was a protester. I told you all that story a few weeks ago, I'm sure. for because a white officer and a black officer went undercover, if you all remember. And I heard my officers, both Mel and Stacy, were police officers, so they get it, and they were like set up. But at the end of the day, I see you, Mel. He'll get probation. It's happening that at least, and this is the thing that I'm saying on behalf of the black community, at least it's being acknowledged that it's wrong. At least it's being acknowledged, because before this it was just like, oh, it's just nothing happened, it doesn't make any difference. I'm hopeful that stuff's gonna go on people's records, because this is the thing now, and I saw this is going on here in Missouri, where the governor's coming out, because we got a fight going on locally between our police department and the citizens, and those that are really, really upset because there has been a tremendous amount of anti-black policing in our city. And so the mayor, who is black, the mayor set aside some funds, and didn't have anything to do with police department, has their budget, but the mayor set aside some funds to address that in the city here, and now the police department is suing him for the funds that he set apart to help and aid in policing. Like, can we send a counselor or a therapist on some of these calls where it's a mental health issue? Can we train some people to be able to go out and deal with situations and talk down and de-escalate? Can we do some of these other things? Popo, we not gonna mess with your budget. We just gonna take some out of the city budget and set it aside. And now the Popo's mad because you set aside. Come on now, come on. And unfortunately, Kansas City, Missouri's police department is governed by the state, not by the city. That's some crazy stuff too. So much stuff needs to change, and all of it run by and driven by no diversity in the mix, not 1 ounce of diversity in the mix. So the taking away of those dollars, or they're saying taking away, but that's what the mayor is basically saying. We're not taking any dollars away from you. We're just allocating and reallocating city funds to put someplace else. So yeah, the Saints are mad, and at the end of the day, I'm like, sit down somewhere. Have all the seats. Just sit down. Would you please sit down? At the end of the day, the real issue is the change that needs to happen, especially here, but the change that needs to happen everywhere. That policing as we know it needs to be completely revamped. And I already know your position, Stacy 546, that it needs to be completely tore up from the floor up and started again. And I have to say, when you build on a bad foundation, and the foundation is bad, and that's what a lot of people don't want to acknowledge, but the foundation is bad. KC Mo PD budget actually increased, exactly, SK 8843. But it's just the idea that the mayor and a group of citizens had the gall, the mitigated audacity to go out and find another way to work around the police brutality that's going on against black, brown, and transgender bodies in this city, and transgender high incidents of police brutality documented. And so, you got to deal with what you got, and so to be mad and angry and sue because they found a workaround, that speaks volumes in and of itself. You don't have to say a whole lot more. That's telling. When you're so upset that you're going to sue, and your board is going to sue about money that has nothing to do with you because they found and came up with a workaround out of their budget, that's sad. There's something wrong with you. It's just, you know what I'm saying? That's just dastardly. That's just dastardly. And so at the end of the day, Stacy, they're not taking away from their budget. And that, I think, was the wise move, if you will, in the way that the mayor did it, because you can't scream and holler. Your budget increased. You can't scream and holler that we've done you some wrong or we've done you some injustice. We just found a way to work around your tail. And now you're mad. So, you know, at the end of the day, Mel, going back to your comment that this officer is probably just going to get probation, at least it's on the books. Because getting back to how I tied that was that it came out this morning, as a matter of fact. I saw it on the 4:00 news this morning that the governor is revamping his own rules and regulations that he's doing as the governor as it relates to the police department, because he's as far as I'm concerned on the wrong side of this, and has shown himself on the wrong side of it time and time again, so that officers cannot be he put some things in motion in the law where officers cannot be directly sued unless they have a criminal element or some kind of criminality in the background to it. Well, sir, ma'am, when you killed this man, when you killed this woman, when you operated in excessive force, I don't care whether you had a record in your past or not. It's criminal. It's criminal. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? So unless there's some criminality in it and some history. So when I look at that, Mel, and yes, he may get probation, but at least we got a history. At least we got a trail. Now, I feel like it needs to be more than that. Your lips, hips, and fingertips need to be sitting in somebody's jail cell for 4 years. They beat that man unmercifully, and he will never, ever be the same. So, and the whole element of the I'm gonna say experiment to prove their point was that they also put a white officer undercover as well, who had absolutely positively no incident at any time. Same place, same everything, but the black man's beat unmercifully and hospitalized at 1 inch from his life, and the white man just walks away. So we've got to deal with the reality. Police officers need to look like they did back in my day. No facial hair, tattoos, uniform press, shoes shine. Baby, those days are over. Mel, you said it, back in your day. Those days are over, because baby, they come out looking like some of everything. And really, some of them come out looking like skinheads. If they not, they look like skinheads. They tattooed up like skinheads. And so, you know, you talk about that police officer with the young black female talking about he felt intimidated. Sometimes you can just look at the officer and feel intimidated because they look like skinheads. So yes, SK, interpretation, you get one free pass to abuse citizens. Come on here. You get one free pass. Good morning, Michelle Browno. Good morning to you. And welcome to the Lion's Den. Yes, you get one free pass to abuse somebody, because up to then you don't have a record of criminality. And so at the end of the day, I feel like even some of that needs to pass. Some of that needs to go away. And this is something that the mayor just put in motion. And I'm sorry, the governor just put in motion. And so you'll be hearing more about it in the days to come. I'm sure they're probably going to continue to talk about it throughout the day today. But at the end of the day, trying to come up with some kind of way to cover and protect these police officers, and for the ones that are no good, they need to be gone. Stacey, some of them look just like Nazis. Some of them look, and that's what they want and intend to look like, sweetheart. They and if that's not intimidation, you want to talk about you felt intimidated because she took back the blue sign and stomped on it and threw it in the trash can. You felt like that was intimidation against police. When you come out looking like a Nazi, you come out looking like you came straight from Hitler's Fourth Reich, when you come out looking like I don't want to see you in the light or the dark, and you got a weapon on you, that's intimidation. That's intimidation. Let's get that straight. So, you know, my thing on that, if they gonna send her to jail for the fact that she made a police officer feel intimidated, black people all over the country ought to be able to go off they rocker sending Popo to jail for intimidation. You made me feel intimidated. If we can make the Popo feel intimidated and go to jail, then the Popo ought to be able to go to jail for making the community feel intimidated. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So I wanted to come back while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered. It was reported to me that he did get 4 years in prison. I wanted to do that follow-up to that story because we did talk about it the other day. And so I wanted to get back to that. Now, a couple more things I'm gonna touch on here. I'm just kind of going down because I want to. Cardi B wins a legal victory in ongoing court battle with Tasha K. I'm not gonna get into all of that, but just so y'all know, Cardi won that one round. Okay, where's my? I got something for her. She won this last round, so this is what I'm gonna give Cardi B on that one. Let's see. Yeah. You win. In this corner, Cardi B. Tasha K is a mess. Mino, is that what you said? Hey. In this corner, we have Cardi B. In this corner, we have Tasha K. And now, ladies, I want y'all to come out fighting. Well, it was reported to me that Cardi B won this one. And so, Tasha's going to have to deal with the fallout of that. And I'm just throwing that in there so y'all know. I'm going to let that go. A year ago, there was a referee named Tony Brown. He reffed his first NBA finals. Now he's fighting for his life. That's one of the headlines that's out here. This black brother, he's a veteran referee. He is battling pancreatic cancer. And he was finally, because we got to deal with these issues of how we still don't have diversity out here in the sports. People are still trying to break through the ranks to get the diversity of black people included. We want to be included at every level. So last year, he came out and reffed his very first game, and then he was stricken ill. So we're going to send up some prayers, y'all. We're going to send up some prayers for our brother, Tony Brown. We just appreciate him breaking the barrier. And every time we get an opportunity to break the racial barrier in whatever area, I just wanted to commend him and applaud him. And we're going to send up prayers. It's no small thing when you break the barriers. And who knows all of the, this is what I'll say even to that, all of the things that even after breaking the barrier, you still got to go through. You still got to press through. You still got to deal with, because don't think just because you broke the barrier that all the racism just flew out the window, that all the supremacy and privilege just flew out the window. No, it did not. So who knows what all, and everything that he had as a first timer breaking that barrier in the NBA. Who knows what all he's had to go through. But right now, I just wanted to acknowledge him, and prayers going up, prayers going up, prayers going up. Now I'm gonna come on. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna get ready to roll on over to my conversation that I really want to have, because I think everything else I'm gonna pass on bringing it up and talking about. So you all, I want to thank those of you. I saw many of you that began to on yesterday talk about Alec and talk about the Koch brothers and talk about what we uncovered, if you will. It's not an uncovering, that it's out there. It's out there. But for those that are oblivious and didn't know, we had the conversation on yesterday about what all is going on with the situation in our government that really needs to be addressed. I want to give an applause once again to all of those Democrats from Texas that got their lips, hips, and fingertips on that plane and got up out of Dodge. Because we got to do something, y'all. We got to do something. Well, a lot of what I really want to address is still going to go back to the element of, and let me unshade. I don't just throw shade, I shed light. So get your coffee cups out, get your coffee cups out, get your coffee cups out. Let me come on down, get my coffee cup, get your coffee cups out. I saw many of you that begin to ask people to pay attention to what you're buying, pay attention to where you spend your dollars. Especially go out. I do want you to go out and Google the Koch brothers. It's spelled Koch. Go out and Google their different organizations. And I'm going to encourage you. I see your coffee cup. SK8843. I'm going to encourage you. Get out here and pay attention to what you're buying, where your dollars are going, because I'm not trying to fund the very folks that are working against me. Hear me when I say that. I'm not trying to fund the very people that are working against me and working against people of color. I do want to say, I don't know if any of you guys saw this on yesterday, Georgia, and they were so excited. They headlined that joker. Georgia actually got a Republican. They had a special runoff. I see your coffee cup. Get those coffee cups out. Get those coffee cups out. They had a big blaring picture of Stacey Abrams. And I was like, what's that about? I was like, what's going on? Well, there was a special election in Georgia. Stacey Abrams had a candidate that she was backing with her organization, and then Kelly Loeffler, if y'all remember her, that's the sister that was over WNBA down there, and them sisters came out. the WNBA sisters came out wearing shirts in direct opposition to her. She eventually lost ownership, lost her seat. So she has become the Caucasian version, or she's trying to be the counterpart Republican white woman version of Stacey Abrams. So she's created an organization. And so the reason why they had this huge picture of Stacey Abrams is because the Republican Party in that special runoff election, they won by like 65%. Now, in actuality, this was just an area. It wasn't the whole. I know. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am is absolutely correct, Rebel. Now, it causes pause and concern for me from this angle only. And as Stacey Abrams said, we got to mobilize. We got to get out. Now, I do believe that this area, as far as the demographics of it, was going to be a red area anyway in Georgia. So understand, they draw up these districting lines. Who's good? Stacey is good. Loeffler is bad, in my opinion. So Loeffler is that Trump-pansy element. That's Kelly Loeffler. She's she's that whole white privilege representation of let's roll everything back to its Jim Crow status. That's Kelly Loeffler. So the reason why they had Stacey Abrams' picture plastered up there in such broad, brazen, huge, I mean, that's why it caught my attention, because anytime I see my girl, I'm gonna stop and look. So when I saw the picture, what they are touting and tried to taunt her with is that her candidate lost. So like, now look, let's build momentum on that. We thought Stacey was so big and bad that she turned Georgia from red to blue. But listen, we won this race. But like I said, look, at the end of the day, that I believe is a precinct or an area that was going to be red no matter what. Y'all understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. There's certain areas they're going to be red. I don't care what you do. They're going to be red. So, but they're taking it and they're pushing the publicity of it to show, come on, pray. I'm praying, Kim Possible. I'm praying for y'all. ATL got a lot. The Georgia Peach got a lot to deal with right now, Kim Possible. I didn't know that's where you were from. Bless you, bless you, bless you. The ATL, y'all got a lot going on. And Stacey Abrams is my girl. I ain't gonna lie, that's my girl. But there, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Kim Possible, if this is your stomping ground. Is it true that this demographic would have been red? They are petty, red petty at that. I'm going to assume the way I understood the pieces of it that I got, the area that actually in this special election went red would have been red regardless. Simply because ain't no blue there to vote. And I'm saying that from the standpoint of when we get into where folks want to be upper echelon, white supremacy, white privilege, living folk in an area where they can't come over here and touch us, I got the feeling that it was one of those kind of areas that was in this special election. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Kim Possible. Nonetheless, they're trying to take this as a huge win for all of these movements that are trying to move us back to Jim Crow. And that's the best way I know how to sum it up, to move us back to Jim Crow. Now, I'm like, but what it does signal to me is that we cannot automatically rest on our laurels and say, okay, Stacey Abrams made it happen down there, it's going to automatically happen again. We've got work to do. We've got work to do. Oh, Stacey, thank you so much for coming in. You have a blessed day. You know I love you. I love you. I love you. Have an awesome day and peace for your journey. So at the end of the day, it's like, okay, now okay, it's a red area city, and that's what makes their celebration petty. Yeah. So, but I get it. I get it 100%. But when I tell you this picture that I saw of Stacey Abrams, and that's why it really caught me off guard, because I'm gonna tell you what, it caught my eye, and that's exactly what it's designed to do, is to catch the people's eye and to try to spout off, she lost. Look, she lost. Look, she lost. She and her candidate went down in flames as a means of trying to make people feel like, uh-oh, we in trouble. But as Kim Possible, who is from the ATL, I'm so glad you're on here to verify and clarify, it is a red area of the city. So that's what makes their celebration petty. Got you. Oh, SK, absolutely. Let's work. Let's go. Because at the end of the day, what it does signal is that they are mobilizing that base to the best of their ability to try on every front to keep things in this Jim Crow movement. So we can't automatically begin to chill. Now, we just talking about Atlanta and Georgia, but it's other states, y'all. You got whatever state you're in, fill in the blank. We've got work to do. So at the end of the day, as we're looking at all of this legislation, that is nothing less than an attempt to roll us back to Jim Crow. And it's working. These red states are passing this mess. Stacey has a state strategy. Kelly Karen is that chick in the antebellum. Come on and make it plain, Kim. Come on and make it plain. Listen, I got you, sis. I got you. Oh, that was great. That was great, Kim Possible. That was you made my day with that one, sis. You made my day with that one. This is Antebellum in the Antebellum movie. So at the end of the day, we're wondering, where are they getting all of this antebellum legislation? Where are they getting all this Jim Crow legislation? They're not even thinking it up. They're not even writing it up. That's why I talked to you yesterday about ALEC. ALEC is the organization that is actually coming up with all of this legislation. And I want to come back and touch on it again. Largely driven, you got heavy. So thank you, Cassandra. Isaiah in the Lion's Den. Thank you for sharing and liking the stream. I appreciate you, sis. So this is what I want us to understand about ALEC. So at the end of the day, what we don't know is killing us. And that's why I said I want to take a little bit of time. And I'm not trying to be political. And that sounds crazy because it's like, well, you keep talking about politics. I'm trying to help you be aware of what's going on in this country, because what happens at the political level, it impacts you, beloved. It has an effect on you. There's some things that you need to understand about how these dynamics are all fitting together. Now, ALEC stands for the American Legislative Exchange Council. The American Legislative Exchange Council. They're nonprofit, so there's stuff they get to write it off and all of that. I told you all yesterday how many of the actual legislators are actually members of ALEC is appalling. It's absolutely appalling. Now, how is ALEC comprised and how does it work? They basically write up cookie cutter legislation that is composed by the corporations. Now, understand this about ALEC. ALEC is directly and definitely pro-corporation. And the whole idea that the corporations and the corporate CEOs are the people that are really qualified to make the decisions and or / run the country. And so you have them basically, to explain it one more time, you have ALEC members of the legislators, and you have ALEC members of the corporations, and these are the top echelon corporations. That are basically sitting down in secret rooms. Y'all remember what the line that the Koch brothers' father said? The whale that spouts is the whale that gets harpooned. So they have taken on this whole mentality that everything is done under wraps, undercover, in secret. Which I showed you all the video on yesterday where they were threatening the press and the media to be thrown out for trying to record the meeting, trying to get in, yada, yada, yada. And as they said, but there are state legislators in there, and I cover the state legislators. So if the state legislators are in there, I got a right to cover what they're doing. No, it's a private meeting. It's a private meeting. And so they kick him out. So at the end of the day, as he said, I sat there and I looked at one major corporation CEO sitting right across from the legislator. And they're sitting here and the corporations are bringing these cookie cutter legislation packages already written up. Fill in the blank. Literally, they showed you that on yesterday. Fill in the blank. Fill your blank, your state's name in the blank, and then get it in front of your legislature and get it passed. And that's what they've been doing. They're not even writing this stuff. They're not even thinking this stuff. They're cookie cutter. So at this point, as we look at all of these different bills and all of this legislation that's getting passed, and even as the man showed in the investigative article, we're talking word for word, y'all. Word for word. You literally were so trifling and lazy. All you did was fill in. But the corporations and the legislators, they decide before they ever take stuff to the floor of the capitals. They decide what's going to get put in front of the people to be passed for legislation. So the decision is not being made in the legislature on the floor. The decision is being made at these ALEC conventions and these ALEC meetings, and they're determining beforehand, before they ever get to the legislature. So I want us to be copy, paste, and sign, Mel. That's exactly what it is. Copy, paste, and sign. So needless to say, it's not shocking to any of us that this legislation is always pro-corporation and not the people. And that has been the problem that we've been seeing happen over a span of time. And as I said, for the past 40 years, I looked on it, Ronald Reagan was one of their main recipients, and they applauded and lauded him. And, people feel all kinds of ways. But listen, there was a whole lot of stuff that was going on, and stuff that started, including the Bushes. Don't listen. So now people are, I will say, and I'm going to say this because my good friend that's on here can appreciate this. Pfizer, which was in ALEC, has recently resigned. Oh, now I'm gonna give them I'm gonna give them some cheers for that. And there are other corporations that are starting to resign. Now I'm gonna tell you the truth about it. Now the reason why I feel some of them are resigning is because y'all remember the whale that spouts is the whale. Yeah, come on, I'm gonna plot them again. Pfizer's out, y'all. Pfizer's out. So if I can name them on the bad side, let me name them on the good side. But I do feel that some of the corporations are jumping ship, because you remember the idea of Mr. Koch Sr. was the whale that spouts is the whale that gets harpooned. ALEC has not because it wanted to, but because it's getting leaked out. It is about time. It's about time. It's been leaked out, and so it's spouting. It's spouting. So people's attention, and that's why I'm going to take the time. Like I said, I'm trying to make you aware of it. The people, as they're coming into the knowledge of this, because listen, the Koch brothers and nobody else should be running our country. It should be for the people, of the people, by the people. So I am pushing that organizations like ALEC, and when we know that it's just really a red herring and you ain't what you say you are, you're really organized for a whole nother agenda and for a whole nother purpose and a whole nother ideology that you're trying to push and promote and provoke and create this continuation of the upper 1 to 2% running this country. Yeah, that needs to stop. That needs to stop. That needs to stop. What happened to the days when they used to draft legislation amongst the legislators? What happened to the days that they used to draft that amongst themselves? When did we get so rank and so pitiful and so putrid that you can just bring me your already drafted up whatever you want me to say, and I sign my name and the dotted line, push it through the agenda, push it through and get it passed, and nobody knows what it really says but you, and it really only has a favor, it only profits and benefits a small group of people, not everybody. That's got to stop. So I feel like as ALEC has spouted, but I'm gonna keep spouting off. I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna keep sharing because I want you all to be completely aware of what it is. We're not ignorant of the enemy's devices, and this has been going on, and it's gone on long enough. So this is the kind of trade-off you get. 5 companies, all members of S&P 500 stock market. So that's the top 500. And they're collecting funds from the lobbyists. Come on here. The 5 companies, all members of the S&P 500 stock market index of the largest publicly traded companies, made a combined $8.3 billion in pre-tax earnings in 2020 and paid nothing in federal income tax. Now I'm gonna say that once more again. I'm gonna read this again. 5 companies, all members of the S&P 500 stock market index of the largest publicly traded companies, made a combined $8.3 billion in pre-tax earnings in 2020, and they paid not one red penny in federal income taxes, according to the Institute of Taxation and Economic Policy, ITEP. In a pay-to-play arrangement, lobbyists from ALEC affiliated corporations worked behind closed doors with the state legislators on ALEC task force to draft laws that boost their personal profits. That's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with. So the top 5 2020 ALEC tax dodgers: Charter Communications. Yes, I'm gonna name it and claim it. Charter Communications, on their $3.7 billion profit, no taxes. American Electric Power Company, $2.2 billion profit and no taxes. Now hold on to your weave and your wig on this one. FedEx, with their $1.3 billion profits in 2020, no taxes. Duke Energy, with their $826 million profit, no taxes. Williams Company, an energy pipeline, $278 million in profit, no tax. Then, as if that's not bad enough, FedEx received a tax rebate of $238 million. Did you hear what I said? FedEx received a tax rebate of $238 million. The yellow submarine is growing, and a little You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, Cassandra. You get it. You get exactly what I'm saying. It makes sense why they are courting and including these legislators, and you understand how the lobbyists are making money, and you understand how the legislators that are taking this money from the lobbyists are making money. They're passing this money around amongst themselves. I could find a word: bribery. Could some of this actually bribery? Bribery? You pass this bill for me, I'll give you a cool meal. You pass this bill for me, I'll give you 10 mil. You pass this bill for me, we'll make you put you on the board, and we'll put you on a nice fat cheesy little income for being on the board. Listen, this has got to stop. It's gotta stop. And so when we look at, and that's just a little smidgen, and that's why I'm telling y'all, go out here, do your homework, get your information right, understand who from your state is participating in ALEC, understand how much impact ALEC is having in your land. I'm telling you, and the Koch brothers, they're cheesing and they're greasing all the way to the bank. They are cheesing and greasing. There's a Netflix documentary that talks about this and the list of companies that benefit from ALEC, and they use prison labor to boast profits. And this is the thing, Kim Possible. Come on, SK, you got it. You shall not pass. You shall not pass. And so this is what you hit, Kim Possible. And I want to come here because I've sat in on several meetings in the community. They are determining the prison system by the time the kids are in 3rd grade in our urban core schools. They are determining how, now you hit the nail on the head, that they're using prison labor to make their profits. They are using prison labor to make their profits. We sat in a meeting and we talked about, and this was not only with the mayor, but with other people, because there are people that are saying this. Come on.
You shall not pass.
By 3rd grade, they're using the 3rd grade. And see, y'all talk about all the testing and everything else that they want to do. They're using the testing. They're using that standardized testing tool, and they're deciding and determining how many prison cells they need to build. And this ain't no made up stuff. I don't have to say allegedly. I'm talking about, I've been to meetings with city government and other organizations and leaders that are addressing that this must stop, because at the end of the day, SK 8843, it's modern day slavery. It's slavery. Now, I'm going to tell you, you can run out here and talk about everybody else's country and what needs to get. The United States needs to sit their hips at home and get your own. Charity begins at home and then spreads abroad. It doesn't spread abroad and then come back home. Stop the slavery in your own country. And I mean that. I mean that. With every ounce of my being, I mean that. You stop the slavery in your own country, because at the end of the day, this is nothing less than slavery. And I'm glad, I want y'all, the Netflix, there's a Netflix documentary out there. I haven't seen it yet, Kim Possible, but I'm gonna go out and look at it, because ALEC is wreaking havoc on our lives. And we don't even know ALEC exists. And we don't even know what ALEC is. We don't even know who's in ALEC. We don't know nothing about ALEC. Listen, if you don't remember nothing else between now and the election season, y'all do some homework on ALEC. And if your representatives, if your senators are in ALEC, you need to...
Why you always...
Oh, that's the wrong button. I was on the wrong end, y'all. This is what you need to do. No, we don't want you back. Get them all out. Get them all out. Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Now, for somebody, it's like, oh, girl, you done got political. I'm not trying to be political. I'm trying to bring you to awareness. People are destroyed for lack of knowledge. You need to understand ALEC and the impact that ALEC is having on your life. These people are making decisions for you. And this whole cookie cutter, we got legislation, you put your state's name in it, get it on the floor and get it passed. That needs to stop. It never should have been. It never should have been. It never should have been. And all this money that they're passing around to these people that are participating in it, it's wrong. Cry loud, spare not. It's wrong. Oh, you did your homework? I'm glad you did. I saw some of you started posting up on Facebook, and I was like, yes, 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 because we got to get people aware of exactly what's going on. And by third grade, you're using a standardized test by third grade to determine how many jail cells you're going to build. That's a mess, y'all. That's a whole mess. That's a whole mess. And who's going to be impacted by it? Your little third grade child, your little third grade niece, your little third grade nephew, your little third grade grandchild. You understand what I'm saying? Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? This is a whole system. And that's why even the DeVosses are ALEC. They are ALEC. I'm going to tell you again, they're ALEC. And their whole agenda has been to get schools privatized. And so it's not shocking. I'm not shocked, stunned, nor amazed that 45 chose Betsy DeVos to be over education with her if she only had a brain. But the agenda isn't how much brain she has. The agenda is we need to privatize the school system, because if I've got the prison system on lock, if I've got the court system on lock, if I've got the educational system on lock, I got this country on lock. I need y'all to understand that. Understand it. She is ALEC. And I ain't making up no strange cue, and I'm talking about stuff. That's why I said do the research, because this isn't made up. And this is the thing. Too many times we stick our head in the sand and we get distracted by this. We get distracted by that. While we were distracted by Trump and all of his insanity, what he was doing, they were steady packing that court. Do you hear me? They were steady putting lips, hips, and fingertips, judges on the court. And now when we go to court, we got to fight with these judges and their decisions. They were still working on the pipeline for prison. And y'all ain't gonna like what I'm saying here, but are we really surprised when I say and I address the whole system of policing? The foundation of it is needing to be torn up from the floor up. Understand that system of policing is also in the pipeline, sending them right onto the prison system so that they can keep this whole piece of machinery working. I'm not breathing and making up some kind of conspiracy. I'm trying to tell you all what's going on, and I need you to wake up and smell the coffee. Get your coffee cups out. Get your coffee cups out. Get your coffee cups out. I don't know cream, no sugar. We take this coffee strong and black because we tell it like it tis. It's bait and switch, slip of the hand all day long, Kim Possible. And we just sit down in our lack of knowledge and ignorance. And I'm not using ignorance in a bad way, but because we don't know, it's killing us. Get your coffee cups out. It's killing us and your children and your grandchildren and your nephew and your niece. Baby, 19 years old, and because you had a sign and you stepped and stomped on the sign and threw it in the trash, now you got prison time looming? No. No, ma'am, no, sir. No, ma'am, no, sir. No, ma'am, no, sir. Any way they can get your child and your grandchildren and your family members in the prison system, they're gonna do it. Oh, America, what's the matter now, ALEC? ALEC and the devils that started, participate, and keep passing the poison. Oh, America is right. Oh, America is right, Cassandra. And as they say, this has been in full swing the last 40 years, totally untouched, but it's happening. You notice that however and wherever it started getting leaked to the people, and once the people know, and we're no longer being destroyed for lack of knowledge. Once the people know and start saying, we're not having it, it's happening. ING, it's happening. Because listen, the whale is spouting, Mr. Coke. The whale is spouting, and you about to get harpooned because plantation capitalism still, and it's got to stop.
You shall not pass!
See, you got to understand the system more than just when they run those little ads on television. That little ad doesn't mean nothing. When they run and put them little signs in everybody's yard, that sign doesn't mean nothing. Good morning, Bishop Andrews. Good morning. That's my friend. I love you. I love you. I love you. Mr. Integrity. Mr. Integrity all day long. That's my brother. He's my bishop. Listen, and they wonder why people don't stand for that. Listen, at the end of the day, your little sign, your little commercial, your little abortion, they wanted those same little words. They want to catch you up with abortion, right to life, to Second Amendment rights. They can stupid stuff. When you all are pulling this kind of shenanigan out here in broad open daylight and you're being allowed to run rampant hither, thither, and yon, and we're all worried about abortion and right to life and Second Amendment, but you running off making millions and billions of dollars and no taxes and then talk about ain't no money for the poor people. Socialism. They trying to bring ain't no socialism. People are starving, dying, hungry, homeless. It is about everybody. Your fair share. You're using us and exploiting us to make this money. Then you exempt yourself from paying any taxes. Tell the poor people to pay your taxes and then figure out with your money, we figure out ways to take your money that you contributed and put it in our coffers, along with the money that we made and didn't have to pay taxes on. I'm telling you, y'all got to wake up and smell the coffee because it's dastardly. Do your homework on Alec. And if your people are attached to Alec, you need to cry loud, spare not, get their lips, hips, fingertips out of the chair. Goodbye. And we don't want you back. Am I talking to anybody in here? I'm so serious. I'm so serious. Because Zion, what's the matter now? Come on, Bishop. Come on. They all should be in jails that they're building. And that's the truth. That is the truth, Mel. We're talking about really stuff that is at a level that for all practical purposes, it should be criminal. But when you're the one writing the laws and when you got the judges sitting on the court benches and you have the one that's doing this, that, bam, 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 bam. If you're the person that makes the rules, they ain't going to jail because they're writing the bills. And so I really wanted, and I appreciate Kim Possible from ATL jumping in here to enlighten us and share with us even what's going on down there in the ATL. And as she said, we gonna pray for them because they got a lot going on. But I'm saying this because I need crimes against humanity and society is exactly what they've been doing. And that's why I said, don't be going over to nobody else's country trying to settle nobody else's dispute when you ain't. Listen, that's what Muhammad Ali said. Why would I go over to fight some people I don't even know and I don't know nothing about them when I got this going on right here in my own country? I hope y'all hearing what I'm saying. I hope you all are hearing what I'm saying, because this is what it's going to be required. This is what it's going to take for us to stop the madness. Organizations like ALEC need not have any participation, and especially not at this level. And they call themselves an educational organization. What's their education? Here, we got this bill. It's all written up. It's all prepped and ready. It's all in favor of corporation. Now put your state name in it, sign it, and take it to your legislature, get it passed. No, wrong. It's all kinds of wrong. All kinds of wrong with that. So I'm going to leave you with that. We all need to come together and start crying foul. And that's why I'm saying it, Mel, because the only way we're going to really start to dismantle, because listen, it's 40 years strong. It's really longer than that, but it's officially 40 plus years strong. The only way we're going to dismantle this, and the way it has already gotten its tentacles completely woven into the government, because you got different officials, senators and representatives that are in the organization. And I told you yesterday, the chairman is a state legislator. Oh, they got it hooked up. They think they got it hook, line, and sinker. Oh, but there is an answer. There is a remedy. And if we come together and we begin to dismantle it and demand change, it's happening, y'all. It's happening. Even the fact that it's being exposed, it's happening. Just like you saw on yesterday in that video, how upset the little man was that he turn off your camera. No, that's one thing I don't do is turn my camera off. I was like, yes, yes, and yes again. Cameras to all of this racist behavior has almost become public enemy number one because it's being captured for real. And you can't deny it. You can't lie. Even the insurrection of January the 6th, it's on camera, but they still lying. But at the end of the day, that's where some people that otherwise would not have been converted, they're converted now because they say, I saw what I saw and I know what I saw. And so like, hey, I can't drink that Kool-Aid because I know what my eyes saw. Camera is convincing people. The cameras are convincing people to the truth. So we're going to keep up this push, this challenge, this charge. Because listen, this country has the potential to be an awesome country, but not in its current state. Not in its current state. Then that's going to take us being bold enough, strong enough, wise enough, unified enough, loving enough to come together. We got to come together and say no. No. And what do we say about Alex? Alec?
You shall not pass!
And there you have it. Oh, it's not only in America. It's not only in America, Mel. It's in a lot of places. But all I'm concerned about is getting, and I'm not going to say all I'm concerned about, but I am concerned about getting us right. Honey, like I said before, charity begins at home and spreads abroad. It don't spread abroad, then come back home. That's what the old folk told me. Get those beams out of Americans' eyes and leave other countries' splitters alone. Come on, get those splinters alone. Sweep around our own front door and stop trying to sweep around other countries. And you said a mouthful. And as always, Cassandra, you are going to close out today's podcast of Yes, You Old Cube, one-on-one, just me and you. You got the last word and the last say because what you said was right. It was tight, but it was right. There you go. Well, I feel for my brother and I feel for my sister. This has been another edition of Yes, You, Old Cube, one-on-one, just me and you. This is your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman. Now, those that are on Twitch, get ready for the raid because we will be raiding. This has been your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and I appreciate you for coming on in the Lion's Den. Good morning, Gwen Hollished. I love you. That's my sis right there. Welcome to the Lion's Den. Now, I appreciate everybody that's coming today. I want to encourage you to follow me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Patreon, Twitter, Twitch, Anchor, Discord, and more. I'm out there, y'all. As Mike City said, I might be in your house and you just don't know it. I want you to follow me and remember this. I can do all things through the love that strengthens me. God hasn't given me a spirit of fear, but I have power. I have love. I have a sound mind, and I am all powerful in love. And this is the thing. I always encourage you. Don't just talk about change. I need y'all to get involved. Get involved. Don't sit on your seats of do nothing. I need you to get involved and be the change that we want to see, because it's us, you, me, we all. We've all got to do this together. We've got to work together. We got to live together, love one another, treat everybody right. Remember the golden rule. Let the world keep silent, and you don't have to be violent. That's the way God planned it. That's the way he wants it to be. So at the end of this day, I want to encourage you, and I want you to have peace for your journey.
Now tell me, I wanted to know what happened to my best friend. As days turn to weeks and weeks turn to years, I feel for my brother, feel for my brother. And as time passes by, I see it unsatisfied. Oh, I feel for my brother, feel for my brother. I miss you, man. You're my brother.